Okay. Well, that answers that, and that takes you off the hook. So, very good. So, what I might do is, Councilmember McCandless, I know you had a comment right towards the end. I don't know if you want to kind of paraphrase that so that it in fact shows up in the record. And I don't know, and I know that's putting you on the spot and saying, what did I say then at that moment? So I don't mean to put you on the spot, but that's okay. And I would be the same way, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. So we have resumed the meeting of June 16th, 2025 at the City Council chambers. We had a power outage out here at City Hall, which in fact impacted the recording. And so we understand that we are recording this back in working condition. So that puts us live, and we're not restarting the meeting from where we started, but we are in fact on the budget discussion, and the discussion is open to the members on the floor, the members of the council, any discussions or other items they want to discuss. So I am open it to the floor, and if you want to discuss any things at this point regarding the budget.
Thank you. As we discussed at our last meeting, we passed Councilmember Fear's amendment to expand our risk management from just IPL to citywide. And I want to be sure that we are encouraging our director of IPL to look at both the workload for our current training there, to be sure that that does not suffer as we try to bring this citywide, but also back to the city manager. As we begin to assess what we can do to look at our injuries, to look at our car wrecks, et cetera, it may be that we find that job is too big for two people and that we have to find a way to fund a third person. I think from overall fiscal health of the city, that and for the well-being of our employees, I think that may be why. So we will ask you to come back and talk to us about your findings after 3 months so that we get feedback from IPL and from the city as to our plans, if that is fair.
Oh, more than fair.
Thank you.
Please proceed.
Would it be possible to have Director Hagendeffer come and just give his opinion on the risk management?
Yep, he's still here.
Okay, so Joe Hagendeffer, IPL Director. Sorry, I was tending to a power outage, as you all know. So I think we're good for right now. So my opinion, right? So the IPL Safety and Training Coordinator, along with the Risk Management section of IPL, has gained a lot of fruits, as the city manager has stated many times, right? And we have seen growth, and we have gained some great safety numbers on the back end that has won us some awards that we haven't seen in a long time. I do think there is fruit in taking that program and extending some of the basic type things to the rest of the city, and I think they can definitely go and help set that up, and we will have to monitor the time spent post setting that up on the monitoring side of it to make sure that IPL does not suffer from losing, and I don't want to say losing that individual, because there's a lot of discussions that still need to be had on, okay, what percentage of time, how much is he dedicated there, and I'm going to make sure that he's not missing safety meetings that we continue to have, and the discussions and field visits that he does on a continual basis. So in my opinion, he can go absolutely help set up a risk management program for the rest of the city. We just have to be cognizant and continually monitor it. Fair?
Fair, thank you.
Anyone else further discussion? Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just to put some more conversation, these discussions have not just taken in a vacuum here with just us. I've had other conversations outside of this membership here with input and feedback, and also with the ability to allow us to know if there's anything that is altered drastically with this move. So these decisions aren't created in a vacuum. There's plenty of discussion that goes on that is not seen always behind or up front here, but there's conversations that we have with other individuals that are in this industry. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And I just, from an accounting standpoint, on the IPL issue, I just want to make sure absolutely clear that it is accounted for very precisely, because we get criticized enough with regards to IPL money being used elsewhere. And it's just so critically important that we not face that criticism. I have concerns, and with that, I just want, that's a point of contention with many people. And Councilmember, I am so glad that you brought it up to 3 months from now. Take a look at that. Look at the time frame, how much time they spend on various items, so that we are clear on how it's being spent, and from that perspective. So anyone else, other discussions on the budget? Anyone else, other discussion items on the budget? Okay. I just have a final comment on it. I'm going to vote no on the budget, and the reason I'm going to vote no on the budget is because of the transportation issues. And I've informed your staff and you of that matter. This isn't a strong no. I'm not going to pound the desk, but the transportation issues have been a big issue for me, and the tilt point was the $330,000 for IRIS. When people could go to Kansas City and they can't come back, I recognize that KCPL would pay, or not KCPL, but Kansas City would pay for it. They won't now. It was $330,000. I realize it's not a ton of money, but I'm just so concerned about transportation. But with that being said, I'll stop, and that'll be, I just want to give people an explanation of why I'm voting no. Any further discussion before we pass on? Okay. With that being said, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll on ordinance 037.
Councilmember Fierce?
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins?
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart?
Yes.
Councilmember McCandless?
Yes.
Councilmember Wiley?
Yes.
Councilmember Vaught?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
No. And ordinance 037 passes 6 in favor, 1 opposed. And that brings us to ordinance 25038. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Ordinance 25-038, second reading, an ordinance terminating tax increment financing within the Santa Fe Trail redevelopment area and authorizing certain actions relating thereto, second reading.
Any discussion on 25038? Please proceed.
Mr. City Manager, just regarding this termination of this, can you just again review what happens when we terminate a TIF and what will happen to the funds and how we're handling that?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. So just for everybody's benefit, so we've got same understanding, when a tax increment financing project is approved, whatever taxes are being generated at that site before the project starts are frozen at that moment in time. And all the taxing jurisdictions, the city, the county, the school district, the library, et cetera, will continue to receive that amount, that frozen in time amount, while the TIF is active. The economic growth that happens then, presumably with the improvements that occur at that site, are what's used to pay down the debt from making those improvements. And then whatever happens first, either the statutory limit expires or the project pays for itself, all the improvements have been paid off, the governing body, the city council, terminates that project, and then that incremental amount that was used to pay for the debt begins to flow to all of the taxing jurisdictions, again, school district, library, county, city, et cetera. What's different about this one, as Councilmember McCandless pointed out earlier, this is one of the TIFs that, when it was approved, was done with the full faith and credit of the city backing the bonds. This project did not perform the way it was designed and intended to, so there is still debt remaining even though the statutory authority has expired. The other taxing jurisdictions, less the city, will now receive any incremental growth beyond what was captured or frozen in time when the project was approved. What will happen with the city's funds, per previous legislation enacted by the councils, is that will go into, for lack of a better term, a reserve account that will then be used over a period of time to serve as the city's mechanism to continue paying down that debt service. So the good news is we will not require a general fund appropriation to satisfy our city-backed bonds. Bad news is we're not getting that incremental growth that's occurred to fund those other basic services.
Thank you.
Any other further discussion? Okay, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Fierce.
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins.
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart.
Yes.
Councilmember McCandless.
Yes.
Councilmember Wiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Vaught.
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. And 25038 passes 7 in favor, 0 opposed, brings us to 25039. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
25039, second reading, an ordinance amending Article 5 of Chapter 5 of the City Code related to solicitors and peddlers, second reading.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this item? And just for folks watching, Mr. City Manager, I might just have you sum it up in 15 to 30 seconds, just the basics of what this does.
Yeah, so there's already some restrictions in city code against some solicitation activities. What this is going to do is provide residents in the community the ability to opt in to mark their property for no solicitation of any kind. So when somebody comes in to get a business license for that solicitation activities, they would then be given a list of the properties that have opted into this and would be prohibited from pursuing those solicitation or peddling activities at those addresses that have opted to not be contacted.
Very good. Kind of like a no-call list on phone.
Exactly.
Okay, excellent. Just for people watching, just wanted to have a summary. Thank you very
Right.
much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Further discussion? Please proceed.
I always like to clarify that this is for people selling something. People who are campaigning can still knock on a door that says no solicitation, and neighborhoods that have a no solicitation sign, you can still go through and have conversations with the residents. Is that correct?
Unless you're coming to my house during a Chiefs game.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's totally legal. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Anyone else? Further discussion on 25039? Seeing no further discussion, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Fierce.
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins.
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart.
Yes.
Councilmember McCandless.
Yes.
Councilmember Wiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Vaught.
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes, 25039 passes 7 in favor, 0 opposed, brings us to 25040. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
25-040, second reading, an ordinance approving the 2025-2026 annual action plan for the CDBG and home programs, authorizing applications to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, authorizing execution of a written agreement and acceptance of CDBG and home program funds, and making the necessary appropriations, second reading.
Thank you. Any discussion on 25040? Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We were concerned that the federal government might not fund CDBG and home funds this year. It looks as though that is going to happen. So that's really encouraging for this city. We use these for senior home repair. Oh, sorry, I wasn't on. I was just saying that we use CDBG funds in partnership with Habitat for Humanity and others, and a big piece of this is for senior home repair, so making it safe for seniors to stay in their homes. Sometimes that's roof repair, sometimes it's plumbing issues, sometimes it's making sure that doors and windows close, and I know that I spent a lot of time thinking about homelessness, and this is one of those things where prevention is worth more than the cure. Right now, the two fastest growing groups of people in homelessness are women with children under the age of 5 and people over the age of 65. So for us to be able to invest, especially in a community like ours that has a large percentage of seniors, it's really important that we make these investments because it really keeps people safe in their homes while they can still live there, and I think it's a prevention approach for us, so it's something I'm very excited about, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else further discussion on 25040? Seeing no further discussion, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Fierce.
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins.
Yes.
Councilmember Stewart.
Yes.
Councilmember McCandless.
Yes.
Councilmember Wiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Vought.
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. 25040 passes 7 in favor, 0 opposed. Brings us to first readings. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
25-044, first reading, an ordinance approving a rezoning from District I-1 Industrial to District C-2 General Commercial for the property located at 13893 East 35th Street Court South, first reading. 25-045, first reading, an ordinance approving a special use permit to operate a convenience store without fuel sales at 13893 East 35th Street Court South in Independence, Missouri, first reading. 25-046, first reading, an ordinance approving a preliminary development plan for the property located at 1550 South Noland Road in District C2 PUD General Commercial Planned Unit Development in Independence, Missouri, first reading.
Thank you. And that brings us to councilmember comments. Councilmember Fears, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few comments relative to last week's audit and, or 2 weeks ago now, Audit and Finance Committee meeting that just want to make a couple reports back to the council, the full council. So we did have a review by the city management analyst of the animal shelter program, and that will be, the full report will be forthcoming shortly as soon as a couple of pieces are finalized, and that'll be available and be provided to the full council. We also, you'll remember a few weeks ago, we were asked to consider and look at the way the funds were being used in the streets improvement sales tax relative to percentage of funds being used for what I would call overhead. The Audit and Finance Committee did look at that, and we agreed with the city councilor's statement on how he interpreted those funds being used. We agreed with that and passed that as well. And then lastly, there was a discussion about Spire payments and whether we might need to consider not continuing to make, to allow Spire payments to be made at the utility center. The staff is doing some additional work on that, but currently we are essentially supplementing that ability to do that by about $11,000 a year. And so there's a real question as to whether we should supplement that just so people can make payments there when they already have the opportunity to make those same payments a number of places around the city at grocery stores and other places. So we're just, we'll be getting another look at that here in another month or two, but we'll take another look. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that. That's all I have tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Stewart.
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Vaught.
I have nothing tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Wiley.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one thing. I'm sure a lot of you have seen in the news recently the Independence Tower Tenant Union came to an agreement last week with Mr. Panazan from Dynasty Properties. All current residents will receive new leases and major repairs will be completed by November of this year. This is really, really good news for the tenants, and I think a really positive step by the new ownership group. And I'm feeling really positive about it, and I wanted to congratulate everyone. Thanks.
Well done. Thank you. Councilmember McCandless.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know you've heard us talk about the governance for our utilities. We've had multiple studies. We've had study sessions. We've talked about this a lot, but I just want to be sure that people are hearing that we are examining how the governance of the business side of our utilities is being directed. It would still report up to the city council for important budgetary decisions and large investments and rates, but the day-to-day would have a board that could help make the decisions for them and help with the long-term strategic planning. So as we have been wrestling through this, we met today as a full council. It was publicly noticed meeting. Some citizens came to listen to the discussion. I just want people to know that this conversation is happening, that we will be eventually bringing forward more information to you in an additional study session, but I don't think you can hear this enough that we are working through the recommendations of DKMT for a highly functioning utility. So just that for starters. We want to welcome Valerie Burns, who is new CEO of the Chamber, and she will be arriving in Independence in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure that we will make her feel welcome and continue to work with her for additional economic development. Community Services League received the Regional Leadership Award at Mid-America Regional Council, so they were recognized out of 9 counties as one of the great organizations doing work in the community. We had a strawberry festival. I hope some of you got to go before we had a huge rain out. I know you were there having ice cream and strawberries. And then my last item is just Big Brothers and Big Sisters is really looking for matches here in Independence. So if you think you have some time and attention that you could share with a young man or woman who is looking for that kind of connection, please connect with me. I'll be happy to give you the information. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Perkins?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just real quick to the city manager. Tonight we were talking about GEO bond and conversation and discussion there, which jogged my memory. The public safety sales tax, I believe that has a sunset on it. Do you recall what that is?
Yes, sir. That is December 31st of 2028, so just a little over 3 years remaining.
Okay. So we certainly need to get on future radars, of course, of things to come.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And Mr. City Manager, the floor is yours.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to clarify, update. Earlier, I mentioned that the Independence Event Center CID termination date, want to clarify that is in fact 2042. So I said 2035. The correct year is 2042.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Nothing further, sir.
Thank you. Anything else? If nothing else, we will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.